We are streaming. All right, there we go. It's going now. So hey man, this is Alvin, and what I'm doing. Does that help? No, that don't help. Yeah, that help a little bit. I'm working from home right now. Just setting up my office here. Yeah, lighting is an issue, but that's okay. Does that help? Yeah, that help a little bit. A little bit. So anyway, this is an attempt at video logging our what we're doing at work every day. And now that I got this at home, I can be a little more consistent with this, so this will help. But man, I can start with today. Today, one of the big things I did today was our insurance on all of our properties renews on Monday. Some of the things that nobody's talking about in the industry is what are insurance costs doing to underwriting of multifamily assets. Nobody's talking about that. I don't know why. Freaking insurance going up 100%, 30, 40%. Fortunately, we've got a couple assets. We only had a 9% increase. That's been the best increase I've seen in the last couple of years. We've got some coastal properties, 100% increase. We had a 100% increase last year and a 100% increase this year. Last year from 70,000 about 169. This year from 169 to 280. How in the heck? Keep raising rents, right? It's the only way you can do it. So when people think that landlords are just getting filthy rich, well, there's some money being made. There are a lot of expenses that's going with that as well. So anyway, we renewed our insurance. That process was laborious for our brokers. Not for me, it wasn't laborious, but the thing I don't like about it is, we've got one agent. He's got a broker of record letter, so he has the whole market, and their firm does. And whatever the pricing is, it is. And guess when he gets the pricing? He gets the pricing from the carriers just a couple of days before, literally yesterday. And we got to bind that stuff this weekend for Monday. And you don't have many options for shopping. When you're trying to ensure maximum total insured value on some of these assets, you're not able to get there. In some of these markets, the capacity of the carriers does not go high enough to give you full total insured value unless you're going to pay 300%. Now, and some of that makes sense to where very seldom would you have a fire in an apartment complex that's spread out over 20 acres where every building burns down. That will happen. Could happen, but I doubt it. Sure as I say it, But so some of the thought process is that do you need to insure total insured value for fire? Again, when you got 30 buildings over 20 acres, what's the likelihood of every one of those buildings catching on fire? So there may be some reprieve in situations like that. But a lot of the lenders are having to make some decisions to allow their borrowers to cut some of their coverages and get creative because you pay insurance or you pay mortgage or you pay debt service, right? And so that's going to be very interesting over the next few months to see how the market and how our lenders adapt to that in the face of everything else going on in the economic situation. Let's see, what else did I do today? Today I negotiated. We worked towards our consulting company. So we've got, president of a Hope Housing Foundation, a 501c3 nonprofit We do workforce housing. And right now, most of our employees are on salary. And one of the things that has come up with our attorneys and just always trying to be better, going to the next level in our business, going to the next level with our foundation. We're going to 20,000 units, and how can we structure the organization on a sure foundation today so that we don't have to look back 10 or 15 years from now, 5 years from now, y'all don't need to, and 5 years from now, and this is mine. I got sage here at the house that I'm burning. I love the smell of that. But anyway, how do we structure an organization today that'll be here 10, 15, 20 years from now and be able to have the assets that we're talking about? One of the ways is having a consulting company working directly for the nonprofit. It's a lot cleaner than 990s, a lot cleaner for the organization. Keeps everybody even more honest because now everything gets outsourced. Everything's a bid process. So it really does work well for the organization. The organization is run by a board of directors. The board of directors is totally non-biased group of people that are really set here just to govern the entity. And so we've got our consulting company name, and that's all put together today and submitted to the state. We worked through some situations with our impending MOU we've got coming. We've got an MOU coming, and when I started this process this week, I said there'll be a lot of things that I won't talk about, specifically people's companies' names and organizations' names of things like me getting this MOU. I won't say who's it from and all that until all this stuff is in place, right? Because all this is a work in motion, work in process. But we've got MOU coming to put our property, our 400 unit deal in a really good position there. So when that happens next week, I'll be able to talk a little bit more about that. And had several conversations with attorneys today around the structure of our New Orleans project that's going on. That's pretty much all I did today. I think I left the office about 3 o'clock. The last 2 hours I had a counseling session. Yep, I see therapists. Love it. It really helps me. It's helping me refine who I am, who our organization is, where we go from here. So therapy is really a big deal for me. I really enjoy it, and keeps me in some good headspace. And so I had a couple hour session this afternoon, and that was really good. Yesterday, I was in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I had a one-day trip to Baton Rouge. Left here Wednesday night at 6 o'clock. Got there at 7:15. Went to the hotel. Did some work yesterday morning. Went to my meeting for 10 o'clock. 10:10, it was over. Literally a 10-minute meeting. And then I headed back to the airport and sat at the airport till 2:15. And I almost missed my flight. Sitting there so long working, taking phone calls and doing all that stuff from the airport. Literally had to run to the gate and not miss my flight. But anyway, the reason I was in Baton Rouge yesterday was because we had a resolution that we put in for some tax exempt bonds we put in the month of April. We put that in for an amount not to exceed $40 million for our project. Well, over the course of the last 30 days, we thought that we may exceed that $40 million number. And so I ain't gonna explain no happenstance, right? But our attorney called me Monday and said, Altman, tomorrow's the last day for me to be able to put in a resolution if you want to amend your amount. She said, I thought it had already passed, but since tomorrow's the last day, I figured I'd give you a call. I say, well, our appraised value is $48 million. Maybe we ought to amend that resolution to not exceed $48 million. We amended the resolution. She got it filed. I was notified the next day that it was accepted for the agenda. I was able to get on a plane the same day, run down to Baton Rouge, go through that meeting, get that amendment approved. And then yesterday when I got in, I realized that our total capital stack for this deal is about 45 million and some change. So had I not extended, or had we not put in that resolution to raise that to 48 million, we would have either had to cut back considerably on the renovations or on the amount of cash out, or we'd have had to wait another month and amend that thing next month to be seen. So our goal is to get that deal closed. We're focusing on closing that the end of June, right before the 4th of July. And so that's what happened the last couple of days. And more of what's going on in the organization is going on within me. We have, knowing that we're changing the structure of the entity, knowing that we're going to a new governing situation of how things get done. It's really, really exciting. And it's required a lot of growth on my part. Transparency and total transparency. When you're the president of an organization, maybe you feel like you've got some umbrella coverage there, right? And we've worked for the last 12, 13 years to build this organization to where we are today. And then I'm going to voluntarily give up my seat and allow the board to govern this thing, which they do anyway. But the day-to-day operations are handled by us as officers and employees. In this new situation, everything is outsourced to management companies. Everything's outsourced to an asset management company. All of the development is outsourced to a development company. And so it gives the organization the ability to govern itself better because now everything is done by a non-biased board of directors, and get a chance to take in multiple situations, multiple proposals for all kind of work and all kind of things, just because that's the way it'll be governed this way. So that's gonna be pretty cool. I'm excited about that. But again, in transparency, to resign and give up my position that we worked so hard 13 years is a little bit different. But it puts us in a different business category, man. And so now, the consulting for other people, for other developers that want to be developers, for other organizations that want to be developers, I have an opportunity to do that and work with them because I'm not strictly bound to Hope Housing Foundation. So, but what this allows us to do is bring in more strategic partnerships. When people want to do exactly what this organization does, it makes it easier for us to marry them within a deal and partner with people. So, we're super excited about that. And I'm not going to ramble anymore. I said these were going to be 15-minute shorts, just to kind of talk about the daily process of building an organization. I didn't bring my notes home today because, realistically, because I just got this camera installed here today. So anyway, I'll be riding with my notebook, and I'll be doing this from home, so it'll be a little bit easier, and I'll do it every day, probably about this time. Thanks for tapping in. I don't know what I'm gonna call this thing, but right now we're just calling it building our consulting company. Maybe we'll give it a title and just keep whopping this out over the next few weeks, months, years. Who knows? But y'all come partner with us. Let's do something great together. Look forward to seeing you soon. Dream on dream. I should have been recording this, but I wasn't. But that's okay. We will next time. All right. Talk to you soon.